Alright, I should be live. I haven't bloody changed the channel. Oh, I haven't changed it, have I? I haven't changed it. I need to change. I need to make this the top video on the channel. One sec, guys. I changed it. I need to change. I need to make this the top. So I'm way behind on everything today. I'm way behind. Oh, so I just done it automatically. Oh, just double check. Hope everyone is all right. Thanks for those of you who saw me on the Crafty Nihilist channel earlier. Pardon me. Come on. Livestream. Livestream. There we go. Sorted. Right. Yeah, let's just. Oh, it should be. Yes, they think it's done it automatically. How do you get that thing where it glows or it grows red around your name when you're live, around your avatar? I don't know how you do that. Anyway, I can't believe I'm still coughing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, Teddy Border Collie. I love your lovely doggies you are. Hello, DJ B2. Hello, Red Snapper. Hello, Sweeps. Greetings, sir. In the wings with all the good guys. Oh, you sent me some. Can I show those photos you sent? The Crafty Nihilist. Hello. It was great being on your show earlier. David. Hello, David. How are you? We got the Observer. Secret papers reveal Ben and Russell did the JFK shooting using Richard D. Hall's time machine spaceship. I was hoping that wouldn't come out. I really was. But well, I'm done. Hello now. How are you? Hello, Green Tea. How do you do? Yes. You are glowing red around your avatar. Yes, it's very painful. I should see a doctor, shouldn't I? Anyway, guys, how are you? Hope you're doing all right. Now, the reason I'm a little bit late, and I haven't done all the planning I meant to do, because basically a lot has happened today. I was in town, and I was walking through town. I was just doing a bit of shopping, and I don't normally shop in the city centre, but there was this kind of like anti-racist protest. So I went over and had a look at it, and I ended up watching the whole thing. And I've written a report on it, which is on the Panmo Voice, which just posted. Then I came home and I had to prepare. And I suddenly realised, because you know what's been happening over the last couple of days, that the original theme of this particular live stream I was going to have to change. Not to omit, I wasn't going to omit the original theme. I was going to double it, because I was going to add another theme. So this is like a double feature. There's now two subjects I need to talk about in this particular live stream, and I haven't done all the preparation I needed to, unfortunately. Yeah. DJ, did you see people wearing masks? Unbelievably, yes, a few were. Oxford's such a conformist place. It really is. You know that because these supposed anti-racists only got one heckler, you know. But anyway, guys, I'm back, and then the Crafty Nihilists were going live, and of course I could not resist the opportunity to take part in the Crafty Nihilist live stream. And I went there. I was going to say hello and just say a few things. I ended up staying for half an hour. Oh, I had such a good time. The next health scare is measles. Good thing I heard. Oh, God, measles, yeah. Ufology tends to be right-wing or even far-right Nazi UFOs. Well, funny enough, I met a guy when I was at the Bufora conference years ago, the Bufora. I mean, you know how sort of like middle of the road they are, and staid and unwoo. I met a guy from Germany. He was there, a guy called Heiko. I remember. I don't think it's like Rod's telling you his name. And he told me, he said, you know, people in my country, if you get interested in UFOs, they think you're bloody Hitler. Don't know. I won't blame you, Crafty. No, it's not your fault. You have such an amazing live stream that I can't resist taking part in. Yes. Jack Enough. How do you, Jack Enough? That's a good name. How do you do? Daddy, where have you been? Oh, double whammy tonight. Yes, indeed. A double whammy. Even a David Lammy. Oh, God help us if we have a David Lammy. No, he's not coming on. White people. Anyway, guys, yes, I am. So where do we start? Okay. JFK files. Now, it's the problem with this is I haven't read it. I haven't read them myself. I'm letting Ross Coulthart do it, so I don't have to. It's selfish of me, isn't it? But I'm letting these professional journalists go through them and to find out what's happening. And I'm just watching their commentary. Basically, the gist of the story so far is it's like I say in the. It's literally like I say in the where is it? The notice. It's a nothing burger. You know what? I'm not going to delete this notice.
Conspiracies, government cover-ups, Earth mysteries,
I'm not going to
monster
delete it.
cryptids, psyops, saucers and black triangles, her panwo.
I'm not going to delete it. Ben the Backslapper says it's a nothing burger. I'm not going to delete that. I'm going to keep that notice because I think it's so cool. I normally delete them, but I'm not going to this time. But I should go through. Where am I now? Hang on. But I should go through the notice comments, shouldn't I? DJ BT says Germans are strange. Yes, Michael Shrimpton will agree with you there. Is that a Warburton's red roll? I don't know what it was. I can't remember actually. I took that photo a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I'll go through the notice comments. I'll just check that they've all been published. As you've got to do, haven't you? Right, community. So this is something I should have done before and didn't because I've been doing too much else. Comments held. None. Good. Okay, so they're all published. So I'll go back now to the. I've clicked the back button. It's the simplest thing to do. Right. Okay. Boiler Bobster the blind beagle terrier says, "Where is the smelly hat?" Oh, Bob, it's in Watford. You know Watford, that place you dare not set foot. Oh, don't take me to Watford, please. I'm terrified of Watford, and we know why, don't we? Now, actually, I don't think Bob is the usual droid. I don't think he's part of the droid trolls. But yeah, it was. But the hat is here, and it's not smelly. You can't smell it. So how do you know? Orange says it was Ben Emlyn Jones on the grassy knoll. Ooh, that's something me and Russell, yeah. Michelle Wilkinson, hello, Michelle. I've been away a while, Ben. Look forward to your stream. Was Michelle Sovereign, but things have changed. Oh, right, you're Michelle Sovereign. Oh, thanks. Good to see you again. Fetler John says, get some lard in it. Oh, dear, not lard. I'm going to. You may be aware that the Weird Weekend North is coming up in 2 weeks' time. So you can prepare for that, can't you? You can prepare for the lard. Bobster, the blind beagle terrier, says here, your 11 followers will be there. Oh, goodness me. You were the mastermind behind the shadow banning, aren't you? Yes. And David Smith says, not far off Jesus. Oh, I'm like, as John Lennon said, I'm more popular than Jesus. Funny, John was only just stating a fact because there was a survey of 100 people. And they asked, have you heard of the Beatles? And have you heard of Jesus? 99 said of the 100 said they'd heard of the Beatles. Only 98 said they'd heard of Jesus. So, yeah, John was literally right. The Beatles are more popular than Jesus. Lance Corporal says, I will see if I can make it. Also, nothing ever happens. Oh, Lance, hope you can, mate. Hope you can. Let's have a look at what we have here. DJ, I've heard there's mention of spraying the skies in the files. I've not seen that yet, but if you guys can help me, actually, I need you. You can find me citations for these things. You'll help me because I haven't had a chance to look through these files. I mean, they haven't all been analysed yet, so it could be that I'm doing this live stream too soon. To be honest, I just wanted to do. I realised it was almost a week since my last video, and I felt I can't just leave it that long, can I? Now, you're the best, Ben. Don't ever forget it. Thank you now. That's much appreciated, mate. What kind of context? Depop or climate cultism? I don't know. I prefer beef stripping to lard. Oh, don't give them bloody ideas at Weird Weekend North. I'm not going to have a beef dripping competition. Sweeps. Don't need files on JFK. Actual incitements would bring out the criminals. Will never get any more than they wanted to have redacted. Same suspects, indict Zionists, the CIA. Well, funny enough, the Israel connection is very interesting. Someone was saying that there is distinct evidence that Israel was concerned about JFK. Yeah. DJ, not to mention harm crops to cause failures. Yeah, why was that in the files? Oh, there's something about UFOs as well. I'll have to play Vetted, I think. Carlos Marcello, big player in the assassination. I've heard that name, yeah. Explains the aluminium heavy metals in the chemtrails. Yvonne Kelly. Hey, Ben, long time. Yvonne Kelly. Hello, Yvonne. How do you do? Welcome. Welcome, Yvonne. Welcome back. Or Stephen Cambion says, welcome back. All right, so I want to go to where damn it. Notes, right. Oh, Sweeps, can I show your photos, mate? Can I show the photos you sent me? I should ask you first, but you sent me these really cool photos. Can I show them to you? Observer, what about the mafia? Yeah, well, there's evidence. There's nothing in the files I know about it. But if you remember my JFK 60 live stream, I don't want to repeat the points I made there actually. But I will show you a few things here. Here we go. Okay, so portals is that's my newest portal is the Boudica portal. Where is it? JFK. Here we go. If you want to know anything about, I've got all my stuff on portals now. So these are like a list of topics. Here you go. That's today's live stream. I've already listed it on the Panmo TV blog. But you remember this live stream? This was back in as you'd expect in November last year, on the 60th anniversary. We brought this sort of thing up. I remember we did bring this up. Oh, thanks, Sweeps. Yeah, Sweeps has sent me these brilliant photos. Here we go. I'll show them to you. But there's some interesting connections. The fact that Ted Kennedy, the father, was involved in the cleaning up of Cuba with Fidel Castro, because there was the issue with the fact that Kennedy had not reinvaded the Bay of Pigs. I'll come to it in a minute. Let me show you these. The JFK files and the Epstein files by Dishma T. Herbiod. All right. And there's this. Oh, where is it? Hang on. Whoops. Hang on. I'll come off screen share. I don't want to show you images I shouldn't. Where is it? Hang on. What folder am I in? I'm checking I'm in the right folder. Downloads. Here we go. Right, here we go. Why did it show me something from Panmo Voice? I don't know. Anyway, here we go. From Panmo TV folder. That could have been embarrassing, that. Here we go. Hey, look. The Epstein files, the JFK files. And there's your friendly neighborhood researcher looking into these things. Thanks, Sweeps, for making these photos. They're really cool, mate. Are really funny. All right. Have you read Final Judgment, the missing link in the JFK assassination conspiracy of Michael Collins Piper? No. I haven't, but it's interesting. Oh, Israel. Yeah, Yvonne says, how is Israel involved? Well, this is why I'm not prepared properly. Someone there was a video about it earlier. Who was it? Oh, I made this video earlier. I'm going to go to my history. It shows you how I haven't been prepared properly. I just haven't had time. I've got no regrets about being on the Crafty Nihilist, though. That was really good. No, I can't find it. Anyway, there's that new recording that's just come out of that guy. Maybe somebody can help me with this. It's a chap who was talking about Mossad and about their involvement. All right, DJ, here we go. Thanks very much. There are rumors that mention of Israel were redacted. Yeah, JFK was pissed off the Israelis stole nuke tech. Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's it. It all ties back to this thing this was all to do with how Israel got its nuclear secrets. Now, the nuclear weapons program in Israel was was like many nuclear weapons really in the same way that all nuclear weapons program emerges. I mean, the originate, if you go back to all nuclear weapons programs, they were all stolen from Germany in the long run. They were stolen first by the United States, then by the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union stole them from both Germany and the United States. And then they all started stealing from each other. The US started stealing from the Soviets, not as much as the other way around, but they still did have spies in the Soviet Union. And they were all operating German scientists through Project Paperclip, of course. And then they were also stealing from the Brits. I mean, the Harwell Laboratory is just a few miles from where I am, where a nest of both American and Russian spies who were stealing from our scientists. And then, of course, Israel then starts stealing from the US, using its Mossad agents inside the CIA, because CIA and Mossad at a higher level are connected. And this was exposed by a very brave chap, actually, Mordecai Vanunu. Let me just get the details up here, because this is just going to... Mordecai Vanunu, right, here we go. Mordecai Vanunu, was known as John Crossman, is an Israeli former nuclear technician and peace activist who cited his opposition to weapons of mass destruction and revealed details of Israel's nuclear weapons program to the British press in 1986. He was then lured to Italy by Mossad, where he was drugged and abducted and convicted in a secret trial in Israel, and spent 18 years in prison, including 11 in solitary confinement, even though no such restriction was mentioned in Israel's penal code. Released from prison in 2004. Yeah, that's what you get for being a good guy in this world. You know, it just goes to show. I mean, I think the reason they came down so hard on Mordecai Vanunu is because he knew about this. He knew about this, and now it's been revealed. It's been revealed that I think that it doesn't mean that they were behind the assassination, Mossad specifically, but the Israelis were very concerned about Kennedy, because Kennedy was going to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. And that therefore, of course, I know it's David Icke. Hang on, I know it was David Icke. And therefore, of course, that would be Mossad's kind of like public relations and kind of like man on the inside gatecrasher helper in the United States. And there's a guy called James Jesus Angleton involved. David Icke said this. I mean, it's quite funny because I retweeted this. I retweeted, where was it? Yeah, I retweeted not David Icke. It was actually Alex Jones's reply to David Icke. It was quite funny. Here we go. Let me just go I'll just go to Twitter. I know we're supposed to call it X now, but I'm going to dead name it. Here we go. Alex says, so Trump did something good. And this is where David Icke said this now, because you know this stuff about David Icke versus Russell Brand. I wrote an article about that on Hapanwo Voice. David, as you know, is a bit of a backslapper when it comes to the Trump thing, and he said quite rightly that he actually exposed some things in his own book 30 years ago that has now been revealed in this new thing. In fact, most of these files, from what I've seen so far, as with the Epstein stuff, most of it's just stuff that's already leaked to the press anyway. And so Alex says, so Trump did something good. Anyway, let's see what Dave, I'm going to have to say. Now, I'm going to have to play a lot of copyrighted stuff in this particular video because of my lack of preparation, which means if I get a strike, it can't be helped. But here we go. Let's see what David had. This is where I heard about it.
Well, the JFK files are out. Apparently, there's about 80,000 of them to get through. And people are starting to see bits and bobs in them, which they're posting.
Not me, unfortunately. I'm just being carried along by other people right now. Unfortunately, I'm not doing the hard graft myself. Must apologize for that.
And for me, it's deja vu, because 30 years ago, 1995, in this book, And the Truth Shall Set You Free, I produced, well, the equivalent.
I've read that book, the first edition, yeah.
equivalent of the unredacted and then some JFK files. The global elite elements within the CIA and the global elite's wholly owned subsidiary, Mossad, are the same organization if you go deep enough.
They're so infiltrated. I mean, they you know, especially Mossad. But I mean, Mossad, of course, has CIA officers in it. They probably all know about it and work together. I mean, I'd say a lot. The same goes for MI6 and even maybe the KGB. If you ever read got all that stuff about national suicide, yeah, it's incredible. Anthony Sutton's book about the Cold War, the truth behind the Cold War.
During and after the assassination of both John and Bobby Kennedy, the key coordinator of these connections was one James Jesus Angleton.
I should point out that James Jesus Angleton, funny name that, he's called, it wasn't a nickname, his parents did give him that middle name. Angleton actually comes up in the spy story that I've talked about in my spy video about George Blake and the Cambridge spies. Because he was the one who's working with Kim Philby to expose the Soviet spies in the Washington D.C. In the British Embassy in Washington D.C. Kim Philby was head of Soviet counterintelligence for MI6, and ironically, of course, Kim Philby very famously was a Soviet spy. The irony's not lost on me.
He was recruited by the CIA's predecessor, the Office of Strategic Services, after leaving the Skull and Bones University of Yale. In 1947, he joined the new CIA and progressed to the highly sensitive and pivotal post of head of CIA counterintelligence. According to his biographer, Tom Mangold, his major patrons were Alan Dulles, CIA director fired by Kennedy, and Richard Helms, who was appointed CIA director by Lyndon B. Johnson after Kennedy's assassination.
That's convenient because he became president, didn't he?
And shall we say, Alan Dulles gets lots of mentions in this book and subsequent ones because this was a seriously horrific character. Mangold says that, in effect, Angleton was given such a free rein to pursue his own agenda that there was virtually no monitoring or control of his activities. He was a law unto himself. This becomes very significant to the story when we realize that one of Angleton's key roles was the official liaison with allied foreign intelligence agencies, particularly with Mossad.
So it's unthinkable that a person in that position, official liaison, would not have been recruited, or at least attempts would be made to recruit them.
The head of the CIA's Israel desk. More than that, he had a long and intimate ties with David Ben-Gurion, the Israeli prime minister, who despised Kennedy and saw him as a threat to the existence of Israel. Actually, he also saw him as a threat to the existence of the Israeli nuclear program.
Well, that's it. All Kennedy wanted to do, though, I mean, Kennedy wasn't like an anti-Zionist. All he wanted to do was to shatter the CIA into 1,000 pieces, which would mean Mossad would not be able to spy so easily on the US, and which, of course, would prevent the Israel developing nuclear weapons. I mean, whether you think that's a good or bad thing depends on your opinion. I personally don't think Israel does have a right to have a nuclear weapons program. Well, obviously it's up to them what they do with their own country, but I don't think we should be helping them. And the same goes for Iran and these other countries as well. I don't think we should be helping them either. And please do bear in mind that Iran's nuclear weapons program was assisted by a company called AEBB, an American company, chaired by Donald Rumsfeld. So before everyone gets on their high horses about this sort of issue and saying, well, oh, Israel good, Iran bad, and we support them, we don't support Iran. They've been funding and arming both sides.
That was unfolding at the time. Kennedy's war with the CIA also threatened the existence of Angleton's job and power base. Angleton had many reasons to want Kennedy out of the way.
I'm sure, James, you could have become a hospital porter at some point, or maybe you could have got a job in McDonald's or something, which is I'm not sure I'd want him to be a hospital porter, to be honest. I couldn't salute that guy.
But the most important was his connection to and control by Israel.
Right, there you go. That's David. And so, as Alex says, So Trump did something good. Yep. How about that? I'm going to be relying on a lot of you guys to help me out here. Steve, hello, Steve. Love. I'm gonna come back more often than I normally do to the chat because I don't have enough notes. Basically, Bobby Kennedy went after the mob, and they got his brother into office. Yeah, I think it's connected to it goes back to the whole Cuba thing, the fact that that Kennedy didn't invade. Kennedy, the mob wanted Kennedy to get rid of Castro because Castro cleaned up the casinos in Havana, which at that time were completely owned by the mob. And they were making a fortune off dodgy, off dodgy books and prostitution and drugs and things like that. He pissed off the woke mob. Oh, the woke mob will get pissed off over everything. David, Ike, and Alex Jones both did. I think that was Alex's point, Yvonne. Yeah. Steve, the mob were probably contractors in both JFK and RFK assassinations, perhaps. Well, there's so many people who could have been the people who killed Kennedy. I mean, I went through a list of them in the 60th anniversary one. Hello, Pat Wright. Good evening. Hello, David. How do you do? Ben, do you think that detailed records of illegal domestic wet work would have been written at all? They would have been written possibly simply for practical reasons. Whether they'd have been kept or just maybe they'd have been shredded straight after. What do you reckon? Hello, Janet Royals. How do you do? That's Lance. Hello, Lance. How you doing, mate? Klaus Schwab's father's company supplied equipment to refine nuclear materials to South Africa, maybe Israel too. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the globalists benefit from nuclear proliferation because it increases fear. And increases conflict, this is, and it preserves infrastructure rather than having big battlefield wars. The effect is the same. The effect of the Cold War is the same. It preserves infrastructure, though. And anyway, let's go to vetted because I actually provide I'll go to the list of people first of all. We'll go through it again about the people who might have killed Kennedy, which are numerous. And then we'll go through. I'll read a summary we'll go through the best bits of the best bits of what's been released so far. Okay. The CIA we've already discussed. Military-industrial complex. Obviously, they would. There was the Bay of Pigs issue, which was planned without Kennedy's permission. And when it failed, Kennedy, the idea was that Kennedy would have followed up with a full-scale armed invasion and occupation of Vietnam, of Cuba, Iraq, and Afghanistan style. He didn't, maybe because he realized that it would have had the same effect that the Iraq and Afghanistan occupations have had many years later. And as a result, Castro remained in power, and the mob and the anti-Castro Cubans and the mob were furious about that. And of course, Fidel Castro himself, also the pro-Castro Cubans, also would have had a motive to hate Kennedy because Kennedy was the enemy. He was the capitalist enemy to the north. The mob we've already discussed. Federal Reserve, Kennedy made an enemy of bankers during his administration because he wanted to introduce gold standard currencies. That includes the gold-backed dollars. And there's a couple of them still in circulation, I believe. You can sometimes see them occasionally. The Russians, of course, the Soviet Union, because of the propaganda victory Kennedy had in the Cuban Missile Crisis. The KGB had an international squad of trained killers that were perfectly capable of quietly taking out dissidents or defectors. They did it in 1940 with Leon Trotsky and Elon Mihai, a former communist agent from Romania, once told a journalist that they had a death list of Western leaders, and one of them was JFK. The Ulster Loyalists, one of Kennedy's most successful diplomatic and propaganda ventures was his state visit to Ireland, which was enormously. I mean, like Irish Americans tend to, he considered himself Irish, and they considered him Irish. He was an Irish Catholic, essentially. And the Protestant agitator in Northern Ireland, Reverend Ian Paisley, he of the very quiet, shy, and retiring guy, as I'm sure you'll remember, was convinced that there was a conspiracy of Irish Catholics to plot the genocide of his people, and he was terrified that one of them might occupy the Oval Office, and he began circulating rumours that Kennedy was planning to invade and bombard Belfast and kill the Ulster Protestants. This was completely, this was false and hysterical, but he still said it. But there were Scotch-Irish people, as they were called. There were people in America who were part of what you call the Scotch-Irish community, which was the Ulster Protestant diaspora. These included John McCain, who's recently died, the senator, George Patton, the General George Patton. Elvis Presley as well was one of them. Now, I'm sure Elvis didn't have anything to do with killing Kennedy. Elvis, of course, you may be aware that people sometimes think that Elvis is alive and he's not, unfortunately. Supporters of Marilyn Monroe, yes, because of course he had an affair with them. It's possible that they didn't do anything about her overdose because it was embarrassing for them. Ku Klux Klan. Kennedy supported the Black Civil Rights Movement. Lyndon B. Johnson, of course, an older man from a more humble background who probably resented being ordered around by this posh young upstart, ended up being president. The UFO conspiracy, right? Believe it or not, everything comes back to UFOs, doesn't it? It has to. This might sound weird, but this is actually one of the most plausible motives for his killing. Richard Dolan writes about it in UFOs and the National Security State. That Kennedy asked about UFOs and the breakaway civilization. Now, a new document has come to light that backs this up. Allegedly, a summit was set up at Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida, and Kennedy was shown fragments of a UFO wreckage and alien bodies from the Roswell incident. He disliked the cover-up intensely and took steps to initiate unilateral UFO disclosure with a capital D. He was told that there was a truth embargo and a need for total secrecy, and he rebelled against it. And what's more, he may well have told Marilyn Monroe about this during their pillow talk, because shortly before her death, Marilyn announced she was going to hold a press conference that would reveal something that would shake the world. Was it UFOs? Now, Marilyn had two contacts who had knowledge and interests about UFOs. Now, one was Dorothy Kilgallen, the fellow actress, the one who talked. That's where the information about this supposed crash retrieval in Cumbria in 1952 comes about. Now, there's another man that she had an affair with called Robert Slatzer. Now, believe it or not, she was briefly married to him, but the marriage was annulled. This is really interesting. Now, in April 1952, Life magazine ran a story about Marilyn where she spoke about interplanetary saucers. And it's all so. And also another thing, Fred Chrisman. Now, Fred Chrisman he's the guy who's one of these Men in Black type characters who spoke to Harold Dahl after the Maury Island UFO incident. This happened just after Roswell. And he's also reputed to be one of the three tramps at Dealey Plaza, mentioning the Clay Shaw lawsuit. Anyway, guys, how you doing? Let's go through your comments now. Thank you very much. Where are we now? Who's been sending me private messages on Discord? Was it you? Lance? Yeah, Eisenhower warned Kennedy of the military-industrial complex. I'm out at the moment. We'll meet you when I'm back. Okie doke. The Ulster loyalist, the Gentile fascist, you decide. I thought I knew you were, mate. I knew you were. Oh, I'm drinking at the moment. God bless you. All right. God bless Janet, Lance. Yeah, I'll check out your message on Discord later. All right. The Red Hand of Ulster. Yeah. Hello, Lights Were Low. How do you do? And see how we are living. Hello. Of course, the mystery tramp. Yes. In Dealey Plaza. One of them was Fred Chrisman. Dulles, head of the CIA, was being blackmailed by Israel over his part in oil to the Nazis during the war. Oh, they had dirt on everyone. Mossad, you see, this is what This is why you've got to be, if you're going to be in one of these institutions, politics or intelligence, you've got to be whiter than white, I'll tell you, because they will find out your dirty secrets. You know, things you haven't told your wife, things that you might have done when you in secret deals in your previous political office, etc. Yeah. Anyway, that stuff about that Richard Dolan talks about has been apparently confirmed. I'm now going to go to vetted, and now again I'm going to have to show this stuff. There's a copyright issue here, but I'm claiming fair use on all of this. I think I'm entitled to fair use. I know that Patrick won't mind, but you know what YouTube are like. Here we go. JFK wrote a memo to the CIA about UFOs 10 days before the assassination. Have a look. Let's have a look.
And dive deep. I try
Here we go.
work here with Vetted. I have an amazing story to tell you. So did you know that 10 days before John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963, on November 12th, 1963, he wrote a memo, right, to the director of the CIA asking for information about UFOs. That's right. That is true. So let's take a look at this. And some people speculate,
Blimey.
maybe that's why he...
Look, memorandum for the director, redacted, Central Intelligence Agency. Subject, classification review of all UFO intelligence files affecting national security. As I had discussed with you previously, I have initiated a redacted, and I've instructed James Webb, he's the head of NASA, to develop a program with the Soviet Union in joint space and lunar exploration. Oh, that's interesting. So no space race then. It would be helpful if you would have the high threat cases. That's emphasized for some reason. Reviewed with the purpose of identification of bona fide as opposed to classified CIA and USAF sources. It's an interesting phrase. Maybe because do they want to work out which is which? Because, and you know what it says here, it's important that we make a clear distinction between the knowns and unknowns in the event the Soviets try to mistake our extended cooperation as cover for intelligence gathering of their defense and space programs. Right. It's important between knowns and unknowns of classified and bona fide operations. Okay. When this data has been sorted out, I'd like to arrange a program of data sharing with NASA where unknowns are a factor. This will help NASA mission directors in their defensive responsibilities. I would like an interim report on the data review no later than February the 1st, 1964, President John F. Kennedy, which of course never happened because he was dead by then. There's no specific mention it's only when it comes to subject here. Classification review of UFO intelligence. But then he goes on and he doesn't mention aliens per se. He mentions bona fide as opposed to classified CIA, USAF sources. So he knows the difference between publicly available and classified projects. In case the Soviets get this idea that that he's trying to snoop. That's interesting, that, isn't it? That is very interesting. I won't play any more of this because Patrick just goes on and does his own analysis of it. But anyway, here we go. And I want to get onto the pyramids as well because there's too much here. Zythantiops is back. Bloody hell, how long ago has it been since Zythantiops has commented or posted? Blimey. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Don't tell me Doffler's going to turn up or Roaring Water Bay. This is your life moment, isn't it? Hello, Zythantiops. It's good to see you again. Ben, do you think Trump will finally do a document dump about the English Bigfoot? I know you're joking, but seriously, will cryptozoology be a part of this? Because as I've discussed before, there's been cover-ups over Bigfoot. Maybe they just don't want people to know the truth about that we are not alone, in the sense that there are there are upright apes in this world that are a bit too human-like that might change the way we think and feel about ourselves. David, the new Volkswagen Scirocco diesel, Berlin to Warsaw on one tank. Oh, that's a bit over-efficient. Those 100 mile per hour, those 100 mile per gallon carburetors. That's not even free energy, but they still get suppressed. DJ, no space race seems closer to the series for all mankind. I've not seen that. Yeah, I think possibly Lance had been imbibing a bit, and he's left me some messages on Discord. I'll look at them later. No, he won't. Tina Silver, hello. How are you? You didn't get the notification. Oh, not another one. Hope you're well. I'm not bad, thanks, Tina. It's nice to see you. I hope you're having a good time in where you are. I won't tell anyone. It's up. You can tell them if you want, but hope you're having a good time. In fact, you'll like. I want to come on to the Egypt stuff now because Tina's here. That's good. Are the moon landings connected to the Kennedy assassination? I don't know. That's a good question. Really, I think I've done this Kennedy thing too early. I should have waited. Maybe I'll do a follow up next week or something because, yeah, maybe I'll do a Kennedy follow up next week. Hello, Jonathan Carlos. Hello, Benjamin. Oh my goodness me, you sound like my mother. Only she ever called me Benjamin. She was Dutch and she called me Benjamin. I subscribe to the idea that JFK assassinated himself, as seen in season 7 episode of Red Dwarf. Oh yes. Oh, I love Red Dwarf. The whole Egypt thing is a scam. Oh, well, we'll see about that. Anyway, yeah, what's this Egypt stuff all about? Right. Well, I first heard about it from this this young lady on TikTok called Johanna. Now, I must say, like, I can't help noticing that she's quite amusing. She's quite sweet, but she suffers from a little bit of what I might call youthful overenthusiasm. Was it? Yes, here we go. Where is it? She's very sweet, very amusing character. But yeah, she's a bit like I said, was it youthful overdoses of youthful exuberance? You'll see what I mean. Where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Here, this is where I first heard about it.
You are literally not going to believe what they've just found underneath the Khafre, the middle pyramid in Giza. I can't believe it myself, but I'm going to show you. There was a press release yesterday in Italy from Filippo Biondi and Corrado Malanga. They have written a paper which has got all the results of their synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography.
I should point out this is actually not the paper. The paper hasn't been published yet. And in fact, Funny Oldie World, as she's called, actually made a follow-up video to this explaining the difference. This is a previous paper they actually published, these two. But she's right about everything else. I mean, you've got, as I said, she's a little bit over emotional here. And I'll tell you what, I think if I was her father, I'd be proud of her, because there's so many kids who just don't give a shit about anything, and she does. And I think good for her. She's got a real interest, a passion, a curiosity, and that's so rare nowadays, especially people of her generation. So good for her.
Tomography, which is a SAR radar scan. So basically using sound waves, I believe, they have scanned deep inside the middle pyramid and all underneath the structure.
Yeah, I'll point out that there's some confusion over this particular method, this particular type of electronic, this particular type of data acquisition, because some people are saying things like, well, radar can't penetrate more than 2 feet underground. Yeah, I know that, but it all becomes clear.
And then from the results, they are able to create like 3D models of what they think the sound waves are showing. And I can't talk. I'm so excited. So underneath the pyramid, they have found 8 huge cylindrical structures that are aligned perfectly in twos. And there's 4 pairs of them, and they go deep into the earth. So this is the 3D recreation.
Yeah, this is an artist's impression. This is not an actual. This is not a graph caused by the data. This is simply a speculative artist impression
of what the SAR scan shows. So you can see these 8 cylindrical pillars that go deep down, and then each pillar is surrounded by like a circular path or walkway or tube. Okay, this is not all. This is the beginning of it. Not only that, at the very base of the pyramid, like ground zero of the pyramid in the center, they have found 5 of these kind of stacked chambers, which are identical.
That's interesting. They apparently found
they're kind of identical in size and form as the king's chamber of the Khufu pyramid, the one next door. So these are made with huge blocks of red granite that was brought.
Now, a lot of people have said over the years that this king's chamber was not a tomb. In fact, there's no evidence that anyone was ever buried there. There was a structure which is kind of a big stone structure, which has a dip in it, and it resembles a sarcophagus, but no body has ever been found in there. It has no lid, and so there's always this question: was it really a tomb, this king's chamber? And if they found 5 others underneath the Khafre pyramid, well, what is that? I mean, it's interesting, isn't it?
Hundreds of miles away to the Giza plateau and stacked very specifically in this sort of horizontal.
That's true. I think these stones, they were granite. The rest of the pyramid is limestone, which was quarried quite locally. But these granite slabs, I think, were quarried up in Upper Egypt, somewhere near Luxor, and carrying them all that way, they must have transported them on boats down the Nile. Would have been quite a task because they are huge.
With a convex. What? Oh my gosh! What's the roof? The roof's on the wonk. There we are. Vaulted ceiling. A vaulted ceiling. I'm way too excited. So 5 of them. 5 of these chambers just chilling in the middle of the pyramid, and then 8.
I think you get the picture. I think we've seen enough. You get the picture there. That was where I first heard about it, I suppose. Yeah. I'll go back to your comments now. I want to keep up with your comments because I need you guys to help me. Nothing as it seems says a bill was proposed in Sacramento to make Bigfoot the California state cryptid. Oh, wicked! I know there's several laws that have been passed in Canada and the US to make Bigfoot protected species. For example, I think in Oregon and Washington and British Columbia, all the provincial and the state legislatures have made it a protected species. You can't go out and kill it by law. Right, Tina. Oh, Tina says, I'm meeting some of the folk who will know what the crack is later this week. Hey, Tina, let me know what you find out, because I know, you have local knowledge, shall we say. So please do let me know if you find out anything. Please do. Yes, a bit of possible hysteria over this pyramid thing. Well, it may not just be hysteria. I know, obviously, she's very, very, she's very sort of like passionate and over enthused about the whole thing. But this is actually something a bit more. Zythantiops is a bit more of a cynic. They haven't found anything. It's just a graphic in the Daily Mail. It's a grift. Well, the graphic was created by the scientific team, but it has been published in the Daily Mail. Yes. Zythantiops. Apparently, the paper was released a few years ago. It's just not peer reviewed. Well, they released a paper about the scan they did of the Great Pyramid. Now, there's a lot of confusion over here over which pyramid it is, because of course this structure is allegedly underneath the Pyramid of Khafre. Now, this is not as famous. This is not as famous as the Great Pyramid, the Pyramid of Khufu, which is the Great Pyramid. This is the middle pyramid between Khufu and Menkaure. Menkaure is the smaller of the 3 main ones. Now, the Khafre pyramid is not as famous as the Great Pyramid, but it deserves to be because it's almost as big, and it's also better preserved than the Great Pyramid. If you look at it, it actually has. It's quite famous. You'll know what I'm talking about because you will have seen it. Some of the original limestone cladding is actually still present. There's a band of it around the peak of the pyramid. There's a cap, and there's a bit of it lower down as well. Because originally the pyramids had this. It would have been a spectacular sight in those days. They were covered with white limestone cladding, which was completely smooth and led up to a point. So they were completely smooth surface pyramids, like the one in Las Vegas that I showed you. It was white, not black. Now, that on the Great Pyramid and the Menkaure Pyramid, that's long since worn away. But on the Khafre Pyramid, it has not completely worn away for some reason, and as a result, it's better preserved. Now, it's underneath there that the structure is, not the Great Pyramid. See how we're living. So the sleeping prophet was right. Edgar Casey, looks maybe. DJ, 8 cylindrical pillars to hell. Lol. Well, they're not. There's apparently some big box-like structures underneath, and in fact, let me just find the details here. Pardon me. I wrote an article about it. Let me just have a look. Here we go. Right, so we'll just scroll down there. Here we go. Pyramid Underground Works. I wrote this article. yesterday. And it says here, I mentioned funny oldie world. Yeah, these 8 gigantical structures in 2 rows. They descend more than 2,000 feet into the bedrock. To give you a sense of scale, the Pyramid of Khafre itself is 448 feet tall. That's right. So yeah, they're absolutely so. But there's at the bottom. There's apparently these huge square-shaped structures. I think they're 800 feet across. What are they? Hang on. Yes, at the bottom of the cylinders are 2 cuboids or oblong-shaped objects 260 feet across. Along with the subterranean anomalies, there are also 5 features inside the pyramid near the base that resemble the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. See, I mean, we must realize just because Johanna, the funny oldie worldy, has this youthful overexuberance does not mean specifically that she's wrong. That's not a reason to think that she's wrong. A lot of people are taking a bicky out of her, but they shouldn't. Zythantiops says, what they think the sound waves are showing will be the subject of a long con, and it will all be forgotten in a few years once they have bilked it. Well, we'll see. You are sounding very backslapper. You're sounding like a backslapper. Let's just wait and see, shall we? Let's wait and see. Jonathan Carlos, what are those coils going down around the pyramid? Looks like massive whips. That would explain a lot. That is another Red Dwarf reference, isn't it? They had massive whips, so they made massive whips. But they're described as walkways, although no one knows what they are. In fact, I'd say the resolution of the scan is not clear enough to see, to actually even confirm that they're there. The scan pyramids thing is genuine, but this is BS. What the scan pyramid? Yeah, well, you see, the scan pyramids thing has, in a sense, muography. That is the science. That is the scanning method they were using on the scan pyramids. The scan pyramids project has been proven true because they found a void above the entrance chamber, and this led to a real thing, didn't it? I actually wrote an article about it. Where is it? Here we go. New corridor in the pyramid. There you see this thing. This was actually managed to penetrate it non-invasively and get some photographs from inside the pyramid. There, this new chamber. So this is one of the voids that was found by this muography method. And I actually do a background article here. Void in the pyramid. There's another large void above the Grand Gallery, apparently. Now, it can't give details. It's not a detailed scan, but it does show you vaguely where there are empty spaces. And in a sense, it has been proven true because the void discovered by muography above the entrance was proved. So it's likely that the void above the Grand Gallery is also real. I mean, whether it can be accessed or not is another thing. Tina, I've laid in the box in the King's Chamber. Oh, wicked! I've got to. That's another thing on my bucket list, to go to Egypt. Because, yes, you can go in there and lie in the box. My guess is it's some kind of meditation chamber. So for meditation, it was not. I don't think it's a tomb. I think it's a meditation chamber. Where all the energy from inside the pyramid converges on you, something like that. David, could it be that these pyramids were designed as watertight shelters in case of another global flood? Oh, right. That's one theory, yeah. I mean, well, there's a lot of flooding of the Nile, isn't there? From Aswan, is that? Oh, that's where the granite blocks came from. Yeah, from Aswan. I know it's from somewhere in Upper Egypt. Yeah. Right. So Zythantiops says the pyramids are built on solid bedrock. It's all nonsense. You've been watching Flint Dibble, haven't you, Zythantiops? Yeah. And Dave thinks there may be airlocks in there. Well, there are like double doorways in the pyramid to various places. I mean, especially the Gantenbrink study of the shafts. They're like double doorways. They found a doorway. They drilled through it. They put a camera inside, and there's another doorway further along. Yes, the Gantenbrink developed a robot that could go inside it. It's the first time you could actually do that. Found an underground car park. Oh, I don't think so. And yes, it's the one with icing on the top. That's right. That's what it's often called, the cap. There's this cap of limestone, the remains of the limestone cladding around the peak. That's right. Green tea. I think a controlled scan of the structure that we know something has below to compare it is in order. Yes. Look, this is what Flint Dibble said. He said that it needs to be confirmed by real-world, on-the-ground research and surveys using other methods. And I agree with him. But it's just I sometimes feel you can't win with these bloody skeptics. You can't. I mean, they always say, what do the skeptics say to us? They point their fingers at us and they accuse us and they say, you just believe blindly, you never investigate. But what do they say when we do investigate or suggest that investigations should be done? What do the skeptics say then? You do not investigate that. Do not. Do not. Just believe blindly there's nothing to see here. Yes. The boxes are cells for demons. Oh, God, they're pretty big demons if that's the case. There's a McDonald's opposite the Sphinx. Oh, no, Tina, is there? Oh, disgusting. Can you believe it? The Great Pyramid was an ET telephone box. Now, I know you're joking, Observer, but it could be something exactly like that. The whole Hiawatha Labyrinth went dark. What's that, Tina? Well, I don't know what that is. Zythantiops. They're built on solid bedrock on the Giza Plateau. That's why they built them there. Come on, Ben, you know this is rubbish. Well, it's possible to make constructions in bedrock, but I will go into that. I will actually mention that. And Tina says here, and I mean, to be honest, Flint says this as well, the bedrock is riddled by aquifers. Well, yes, because indeed Andrew Collins explored them, didn't he? The Cave of the Birds. DJ. The pyramids are built on a plateau that looks like a massive motherboard, and the pyramids are a CPU and the Africas are liquid cooling. Oh my goodness me. You make me sound like a skeptic, DJ. 42. That's not Red Dwarf, that's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, yes, and oh, Mark! Andrew Collins discovered a cave system, as we discussed earlier. We did indeed, Mark, yes. Andrew Collins found natural caves. He did, yes. Now, he didn't... The thing is, I mean, I don't know, did he go under the Khafre Pyramid? All right, here we go. Where were we now? I'm going to go to my notes here. I made some notes. Right, now, it took the debunkers. This is what really, when I first heard about this, I was incredulous. This strained even my open mind. When I first heard about this, I did actually think the first thing I thought was this is an elaborate hoax. It has to be. But then I realized that I thought someone made up these two scientists. They don't exist. It turns out the scientists do exist. The paper is real. It hasn't been published in full yet, but it is real. The press conference was real that they talked about. I may be able to play a little bit of it in a minute. And the debunkers were silent for the first 48 hours. No one said anything. Oddly enough, this included Graham Hancock. And everyone and his dog was atting Graham Hancock. And they were like saying, like, oh, blimey. Graham, what do you have to say about this, Graham? Graham, my goodness me. Hang on, where is he? Has he said anything? Let's just have a look. Because everyone is atting him and they were DMing him saying, Graham, have you heard about this? Let's have a look. Let's see what he's been saying. Because, I mean, is his silence a good or bad thing? I don't know. Because you see about Graham, he has been trolled and flamed so badly he's really suffered at the hands of the skeptics. And I think this has made him overcautious. I mean, he himself has said, I like to bulletproof everything before I publish it. So let's have a look. March the 20th. Oh, this is something completely different. No, he's not said anything. This was the tweet he made on the 19th. And this tweet here, the lost civilization. He said nothing. Graham Hancock is silent. Now, is that a good or bad thing? Because the thing is, it could be that Graham Hancock, like I said, he's just overcautious. As I said, he likes to bulletproof everything because he really, I know he's a tough guy. He tries to let these things wash over him, but the skeptics and the debunkers and the backslappers have mercilessly crucified him more than anyone else. He's been attacked, and maybe this is inevitably is going to make you tentative and hesitate before you dip your toe into that water. That may be why he's silent. It's not necessarily that he doesn't believe it or he thinks it's stupid. Anyway, here we go. Tina says, my favorite expert it on Egypt is Professor Robert Temple. Oh, you lent me a book. Yes, you lent me a book on that. Yeah. Hello, Hatchy. How you doing? When God comes back, it'll be in a spaceship. Oh my God, are you in the Aetherius Society? Are you a Raelian? Oh God. Zythantiops. I had it on good authority that Andrew Collins keeps his cigarette in the fridge. His cigarettes in the fridge. True story. Well, that must make them difficult to light. Green tea. There are all sorts of gates and doors under the tunnel, under the plateau. Folk are not allowed to roam around there. Yeah. I mean, Andrew had to sneak in, didn't he? Did you see his presentation on the Cave of the Birds? He didn't get permission from Zahi Hawass. He had to sneak in. He did. No. Oh, Rhiannon Raven, apologise for being late. Don't worry about it, Rhiannon. That's right. Did I send you a notice? I can't remember. But don't worry. Even if I did, don't worry about it. I think I sent you a notice, but oh, I did. But don't worry about it. It's okay. Yeah. Carmen Bolter, that's a good name, helped research the Hiawatha Labyrinth, but there's a rumour she has died. All right, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that place is, Tina, but I've heard it somewhere, but I can't remember. There's a pizza and a Starbucks within a stone's throw of the Sphinx. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. That's like when you... Oh, blimey. That's like the people who go to Jerusalem and they go to the tomb of Jesus and there's like a bloody branch of Next across the way. Oh, yeah. Commercialization. Zythantiops. Robert Temple thought the Sphinx was Anubis and got a lion's tail. I don't rate it. Well, it may have had a different head, you see, in the past, because when it was, when it was built, because it was built much earlier than the ancient Egyptian civilization. It was built around about 10,000 BC, at the end of the last ice age, according to Robert Schoch of Boston University. So it may have had it, but the actual ancient Egyptian head may have been put on later, you see. Graham Hancock knows it's all nonsense. It could be that's why he hasn't said anything. Rhiannon, I don't know. David. Have to cater to those Western tourists. For goodness sake, I mean, if you're going to go to Egypt and you're thinking, well, I won't go there because they won't be a McDonald's or a Pizza Hut there, then you're going to the wrong place. Go to Ibiza, take drugs and get drunk, for goodness sake. Don't go to Egypt, for fuck's sake, if that's all you're interested in. No one should go to Egypt. Going to Egypt is a pilgrimage. It should be treated with the utmost of seriousness and respect. Green tea. Graham is probably waiting for more info. Everything he says will be overanalyzed. That could be it. It could be just as simple as that. And we may see. I think he's kind of the opposite of funny oldie world, isn't he? He's like this old guy who's very analytical and calm. Whereas oldie world, she's this young girl who's like just gets in a tizzy about everything, Oh. Hello, Jake Yorkman. How do you do? Did you invest in the official Trump coin? No, I think it was a bit of that. Would turn out it was a meme coin. Hello, Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Welcome. How are you? South Coast Rich. Ben, you got mentioned on Deborah Hatzwell's YouTube channel this evening. The guy, yes, right, yeah, that's true. That was Nick Hayes, South Coast Rich. He was interviewed by Deborah because of an incident that happened in Lye Valley, which is actually a nature reserve in Oxford City. It's actually not a big open area. It's like a small area, but it's very sort of it's very sort of rustic, and it's got loads of trees and everything, and there's some marsh, and it's a lovely place. And I made a video about it called The Beast of Lye Valley. You can actually watch it. It's a cool video, actually, which I made with Nick. I'd like to see Nick soon, actually. Let's have a look if I can find it. Yeah. This video here, I recommend. Now, I recommend Deborah Hatzwell, of course. I recommend Deborah. But this video is the one I made with Nick back in 2018 about this incident. But yeah, Deborah, I put a comment on Deborah's stuff, yeah, on Deborah's video. That's right, yes, Nick Hayes, good old Nick. That's right. Ben, I've been to church tonight. Oh, Rhiannon, I didn't know you went. Well, I hope you had a nice time and you feel fulfilled and spiritually enlightened as a result. Right. Oh, right. So Watha is another supposed massive underground labyrinth, says Tina. You know what, Tina? I think there's a lot of stuff underneath the Giza plateau that people aren't talking about, despite what Flint Dibble said. I think there's a lot under there, because we know, because they don't let you go down there. Andrew Collins had to sneak in without permission. He basically had to break in. Leanne Raven. Even if this new text could see 2 kilometers under the pyramid, there's no way it could make out the amount of detail they're claiming. This is some kind of viral marketing for a computer game, I think. Well, we might find out. Sorry for being a back slapper. I'm a slapper of the back. All right, not that other kind of slapper. I think you may be right. I mean, there's certainly, if you look at the scan images, they're not that detailed. Obviously, they're not that detailed. Now, a lot of people are saying the scan images is useless. I mean, Flint Dibble was saying, basically, he showed a series of images, and indeed, Land of Chem said this. Land of Chem is another person who's been debunking this stuff. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Hang on. Oh, where was it? Hang on. Here we are. Now, Land of Chem is a very sort of open-minded guy. He's like a real woo-woo, actually. And he talks about the Giza power plant and things like this. But in this one, he actually says this is a load of nonsense. And he...
Want a hot tip? For instance, tooth sensitive...
Hang on. I'll describe it to you. I'm not going to sit through ads. He shows some of the previous images using the SAR micro motion analysis, which basically, this is the thing, you see. I've got it on my notes here. You see, they ask questions like, well, can you see the way to test to calibrate this particular method is, can you see the chambers that already exist? And indeed, if you look at some of the early scans done by this team, the scan of the Pyramid of Khufu is, you can see the edge of the pyramid, but you can't see the known chambers in it. Well, there's blobs of light, different colors here and there, but you can't. There's nothing which distinguishes the known chambers, which indicates this is actually not very good at picking up things. It's not a very good, very accurate form of analysis and scanning. You see, it doesn't work. A lot of people say, well, the radar can't penetrate the ground. We know that. But what it can do is it can take it can keep a very accurate record of micro movements of the objects caused by seismic events such as earthquakes. And they can even actually set off explosions nearby. They haven't actually done that. No one set off explosions. That would never be allowed. But you could set off explosions which create shock waves. And these shock waves, it works like an ultrasound scan. They bounce off certain objects underground and then they reflect back to the detector. And with enough data, you can actually create an image, almost like a daylight image of what's underground. And this is how this system works. Now, the idea is, well, Flint has said this as well, and Land of Chem have said, well, it doesn't work very well, does it? Because you look at the scan of the Khufu pyramid; it's all over the place. There's a blob here, and there's a blob here outside in the air. There's a blob down here where there's nothing there. And there's no blobs at all where there are actual chambers. So it's not as accurate as the muography system, as Antiops has actually said. Now, one of these guys claims to have calibrated it since then, and he's done like at this press conference. It's all in Italian, but there's some subtitles, and the subtitles claim that this whole methodology has been calibrated since the initial Khufu pyramid scan, and it's much more accurate now. Which you'd expect if these people have been working on it for like 4 years. Anyway, David says, mind you wouldn't want to eat the local food or dishes because you'll get the squid. Oh, I would take that risk if I went to Egypt. There's no way I'd touch a McDonald's or Pizza Hut. I'll eat those things anyway. Now, Flint Dibble, I saw Flint Dibble at QED. Well, I didn't actually talk to him, but I did film him, if you remember. Now, he said, now Thanchops has made this point, because I suspect he's seen this video. There's both a lot of there's aquifers and bedrock underneath the pyramids, which indicates this is not a very good site for underground construction. Now, that doesn't mean it's completely impossible to overcome those issues. And we know, as Tina has said, there's this Hiawatha labyrinth. There's other things. There are underground structures at the Giza Plateau, artificial and natural, and many of them are not accessible to the public. Andrew Collins was refused permission to explore the Cave of the Birds, and he said, well, sod you, I'll go in there anyway. So there's the water table problem, the aquifers. It's funny that the Sahara Desert is very dry on the surface, but there's a lot of groundwater in the Sahara. We know that Gaddafi was going to tap it, wasn't he? In Libya, he was going to create aquifers, and he was going to use that to irrigate the land, and that's why. And then he was removed. And so Flint does this video where I'm not going to show it because he'd be only too happy to copyright strike me. But you can find it. I suspect he's the kind of person who would copyright strike somebody just out of spite. I don't know, but he gets very angry. He gets very angry here. Look, he gets very angry in this particular video. It's this one here: mega structures under the Giza pyramid, archaeology written or viral shit. You can see actually on the thumbnail here, he's got a bottle of beer and he's continuously swigging from it in this hour-long video, and he starts swearing and abusing people, and he says, "There's no fucking cover-up. There's no cover. God damn it, there's no cover-up. We archaeologists are trying to do our job, and we're having our funding cut, and all these assholes are writing books, and they're making millions of dollars off writing crap about Egypt. And we honest he plays the noble martyr. He does the noble martyr thing. Peter Robbins is very good at this. I am such a good person, and I have to put up with so much. Yes, he does the noble martyr line. My department has to struggle to fund from my university so I can do my job and be an honest scientist. And then Graham Hancock and all these people come along and they start writing books and making $1 billion. Oh, it's not fair. And he takes another swig of beer. And then he attacks Jay from Project Unity, because Jay made a video, which is also very good. I met Jay. Do you remember he's in one of my videos? Do you remember? Because he was calmer than Johanna. He was much calmer than the oldie worldy person, but he was also very enthusiastic and very, very passionate about this, because he's a passionate person who really believes in this stuff. Huge structures discovered 2 kilometers below the Pyramid of Khafre. I don't think he would actually put a copyright strike on me, but I'm not going to play it because it's stuff we've already talked about. But he basically says the same thing, really. He says the same kind of stuff. Here we go. He says the same kind of thing, really. I won't show you the video, but you know what? Then Flint plays this and he rolls his eyes and says, "I'm just here, just asking questions, jacking off, JAQ-ing off, jacking off." Again, the skeptics really annoy me when they do that. They accuse us of not investigating, and then when we investigate, they attack us for investigating. Honestly, this is and then he says the same thing as Land of Chem. He shows these old images from the first study in 2022 by this Italian team, and then he says, "Well, there you are. Look, it's useless. You can't see anything. It's just random blobs everywhere. This is not a proper imaging system. It's not. The muography works. We know it. It's been proven to work, but this doesn't work. So when you see these big columns going down into the ground underneath the Khafre pyramid, they don't show anything because they could just be random blobs." But then he also mentions the ancient apocalypse thing. If you watch Ancient Apocalypse, you'll see that they use this same method to find an underground chamber underneath this ancient temple in Malaysia. Graham Hancock and that, And the thing about it is, though, what I don't think he realizes that this Italian team answer this. They say we've calibrated it since then. When we did the CAFRE scan, we calibrated and improved the accuracy of our instruments. Now, Simon Holland says a few things here as well. Let's check. I've been through all my notes here. Styx Hexenhammer does a video about this. I won't play that one because he doesn't really say anything interesting. Simon Holland has done a video as well. Good old Simon, Professor Simon Holland. Under the Pyramids, where I won't play this, but he basically asks things like, well, how does this? He asks just a lot of very legitimate questions. How does this work, etc., etc. And you know what? I'd ask the skeptics to stop criticizing us for just asking questions, all right? Because it's perfectly legitimate that we do that. I'm not saying these things are definitely there. Even Jay is not saying that. And even like Funny Oldie World, when she calmed down a little bit, she's done a couple of follow-up interviews on her YouTube channel as well, where she's clearly got her head together a bit, and she's asking these correct questions. And she cited this person called where is it? This is another very interesting guy. Hang on. Funny Oldie World. Funny Oldie World. Here we go. This is her channel. This is her YouTube channel. Now she's done. She covers other things, like she does the Shroud of Turin and stuff like that. She's a very enthusiastic, as I said, youthfully exuberant, but very entertaining video creator. And she does this really long interview here.
It's powerful, targeted.
She does this long interview here with this guy called, and she's quite good with this. She actually has lots of citations and links under here. He's called Trevor Gassi. I'll show you him. This guy. Come on. Skip.
This week, you might have heard about the Khafre project, SAR Pyramid
She just
scanning.
goes through what she talks about before.
By email. Things that,
This guy,
I've
this is
been very
the scan picture. This is actually the sonograph or tomograph of what they found, and they claim to have
interested in recently. Yeah.
This guy here,
And
Trevor
there's been
Grassi.
some confusion.
This is him. He's very interesting. This is his channel. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on here. He's another of these sort of woo-woo archaeologists. And and he's got. I've only watched a couple of these, but they're bloody interesting. Okay, so I'll just go through your comments. I'm getting behind on your comments. All right, TJ, I was lucky to interact with her and ask a few questions when she was promoting the Pyramid Code. Oh, cool. Maybe I'm just old and cynical, says Rhiannon. You're neither, Rhiannon. Egypt is a little crowded around the tourist bits. Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, I know people who've been there will say, well, it's just a bit too commercialized. And maybe it's inevitable that with so many people visiting it, it's going to end up like that. I mean, Roswell's like that. I mean, I don't object to that per se. With Roswell, it's different because I wouldn't treat Roswell with the same reverence I treat the Giza Plateau. Zythantiops. I'm old and cynical as well, but I've seen it and heard it all before. Zythantiops. Welcome to the coveted and exclusive world of the backslapper. You have treaded where even Andrew Johnson dare not. South Coach Rich. My unlikely conspiracy theory is that perhaps numerous governments across the world make seemingly ridiculous decisions because the elite leaders are party to knowledge from other dimensions. That might be true, you know. But they may not be ridiculous. They may make sense from that other side, you know. Where are we now? I went to Spiritualist Church. I went to the Spiritualist Church to talk to dead people. I see dead people. Oh, someone's created a meme of. I've got to show you. This is quite funny. I don't know if it's on Twitter. I can't remember if it was on Twitter or or if it was on Facebook. But I had a little bit of, someone made a joke. Where was it? Here we go. And it was based on that thing, on that particular. Oh, where was it now? Where was it? It was very funny. All right, you've probably seen this. Somebody posted a picture of a street scene in Russia with lots of people walking backwards and forwards in Moscow or St. Petersburg or something. And they say, "What do you notice about this place?" And I posted like a meme underneath. It was that little boy from The Sixth Sense where he says, "I see dead people," but it's been changed. It said, "I see white people." Not so much religious. No, yeah, spiritualist churches, Rhiannon, I would not classify them as a religion. I went to the Sphinx enclosure with John Anthony West in 2012, says Tina. Carmen was there with Kerry Cassidy. Oh my God, you've really been. I know you've been going regularly, haven't you? And Kerry does a regular tour. Maria Wheatley has been doing tours of Egypt now. At one point, I'll go on them. You see, I'm going back to Contact in the Desert this year, and when I finish with that, I don't know. I'll probably have zero money for about until I save up enough to go to another conference, basically. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's difficult choices, isn't it? Difficult choices. Oh, right, where are we now? Zythantiops. There's no way they would ever be able to confirm this, so they can make up any old rubbish. How do you confirm it? You literally have to excavate underneath the Khafre pyramid, and that's never going to happen. Unless there's another scanning method. Maybe I think that Zythantiops, it could be backed up. It could be backed up by non-invasive imaging techniques, myography, for example, or maybe ultrasound or other conventional ultrasound, or possibly ground penetrating radar can't penetrate that far, I know, but maybe some other method like that. And I know you couldn't excavate underneath there. That would never been allowed. And it may threaten the integrity of the structure if you try to do that, you know. But there could be existing tunnels leading down there, though. I mean, but you'd have to get it past Zahir Was and his team, and of course you know what they're like. But it's possible that it could be conferred, or maybe with an improvement of the existing SARS micro movement method they've used so far. I mean, that the Italian scientists, Filippo and Bondi and the other guy, they claim to have already calibrated it better, so it's more accurate now. Zythantiops, why would it be under the pyramid? It would be all over the whole complex. Well, apparently it is. Apparently it is under the whole complex. It's just taking advantage of people's natural desire to believe in fantastic things. Oh, you are a real backslapper X. You are the ultimate. You are literally reading out all the lines. I think we could have a game now of backslapper bingo starring Zythantiops. We really could. There's what I got. Honestly, I'm just waiting to see what you say next. I think I can always predict what you'll say next. Where are we now? DJ, I have an open mind about the subterranean pyramid stuff. Zahir Was is a massive gatekeeper. He is. I mean, Flint Dibble going, "There's no fucking cover-up, assholes. There's no cover-up." There is a cover-up. I mean, I was talking about this. Goodness, I was talking about this on the Crafty Nihilist channel. Oh, by the way, I've got 50 views. Whoa, 50 views. Nice one, guys. I probably got more than that, actually. That's just what the 50 is, just what YouTube allow me to know I have. But yeah, honestly, I was on the Crafty Nihilist channel, and they were literally saying, what were we talking about? Crafty, please remind me. What example did I give? Please give me what example. What was the example I gave? Because I thought of a fantastic example. Tina, unless it's Graham Hancock or Robert Temple, I cannot listen to anything from Dibble I take seriously. Dibble, I mean, the debate with Tina, I assume you saw the Joe Rogan debate. Because at QED, everyone was raving about it. And Flint Dibble got Flint got an award. He got the Occam Award for the top skeptic of the year. And Elon got the anti-Occam for being the worst. But you know what? They're all bragging about how Flint, he handed Graham's ass on a plate. He won the debate. No way, no way. Graham answered every single point that Flint made. Now, I know in this world, in this cynical world, you don't really get proper debates anymore. Or not. It's very rare to get a proper debate in this day and age. You get ponage. You get what's called ponage, which is it's a triumph in a pseudo debate, which one person tries to outdo the other with sophistry and aggression. That's all it is. Do you know what? You remember my debate with Bowler Hat Man? I think I won that because I answered every single one of his points. But when I replayed it on Panmo Radio with some commentary, someone posted in the chat box. They said, "Ben, he's running rings round you." And I said, "He's not. I'm answering every single one of his points." And she said, "Yes, I know. But you see, that's not how you win debates in this day and age." And I think this person was confusing debates with ponage. Oh, Observer says, "What's this here? I know the real secret of the Great Pyramid, but I will only tell if Ben reads my comment." I'll read as many comments of yours as I can. I will. So where are we now? Zythantiops. Hazahi Awas is a typical Egyptian. He's very emotional and expressive. He also likes money. I don't know any Egyptians, so I'll take your word for that. Orianon. That diagram of those spiral pillars under the pyramids make it look like an oil rig. An oil rig in the desert. Imagine that. I ain't buying it. There's no oil rig around the Giza Plateau, but you make a good point, which is the actual, even if this scan technique has been calibrated to the point where it can actually pick up what is really there, it can't pick up details which you see in the reconstructions. Those very detailed images showing the little line pyramid with the balls at the point, and those very accurate blue columns going down, perfect tubes with those very neat spirals going around it. It cannot pick up those kinds of details. So even if those structures are there, we don't know that they look like that. We don't know that. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, I don't agree with Zythantiops. I do think it's possible to confirm at least some of this evidence. And I'm not going to apologize to Flint Dibble and all these other people. "Oh, stop investigating. Are you just asking questions? Don't ask questions." I'm not going to apologize to those people for doing what this double standard these skeptics set us. I'm not going to apologize for that. Tina says, "I haven't heard anything from Josh Reeves." Oh, I don't know anything about him. No. Zythantiops. But just because Hawass is a bit dodgy doesn't mean any old new age scammer is telling the truth either. Of course not, Zythantiops. And I would be the last person to polarize this whole issue and to say, well, one side is all right and the other is all wrong. This is what the skeptics like to do to us. They marginalize us. They say, well, you say, well, I think, well, you get this all the time with with this sort of wokies. You say, well, you know what? Is it possible that white people are not actually evil? Racist! You hate all black people and brown people and Jews, don't you? That's an example of polarization. Nothing, it seems. I wonder what Maria Wheatley would say about what may be under the pyramids. Oh, she commented. What did she say? Actually, I'm not sure if I should read her comments because they might be in a private Facebook group. But she did comment. I won't read her stuff, but no, I'm not reading her Facebook stuff because some of it might be private. But she did say she was interested and she was going to look into it, and I'd love to see what Maria thinks of this because I do trust her judgment an awful lot. Grey Owl, glad to see you fighting the good fight, gallant Sir Ben of Welsh origin. Oh yes, indeed. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. My cold's better. I can sing. Can I say women? I can't say that. I can't do the falsetto. Women. I can't do that. Not yet. Michelle Wilkinson. Hello. Welcome. Michelle Wilkinson, of course, is Michelle Sovereign, who is under a new name. Welcome back. Welcome back. Ariane. Nothing as it seems. No disrespect to Maria Wheatley, but unless she has access to information that can verify or disprove the alleged tech that was allegedly found, these things, it don't matter. I know. That's true. She's just going to look into it, like Jay Anderson is, like Johanna Funny Oldie World is looking into it, just like I'm looking into it, and all these, So yes, we may find out more. Observer, right, I'm reading your comment. I know the real secret of the Great Pyramid. All those theories are wrong. There is an ET connection, but not what you think. Right, will you tell us? Or do I have to subscribe for £5 a month or something to your private Discord or something? Observer, don't blue ball us, for goodness sake, just tell us. Don't do a Ross Coulthart on us. Some of these craft are so big that they had to put a building on top of it because they can't move it. I know where this building is, but I can't tell you. Jonathan Carlos, a time-traveling porter built the pyramids with pride and dignity. Search Caper on Google. Oh, Caper, yes. I wrote an article about this. I write articles about everything, don't I? Let's have a look. I'll show you it. Look, this is weird. This is really weird. This is uncanny. Right. This happened a couple of years ago. Someone found this. It was actually a friend of mine from the David Icke Forum found this. This is Caper. He's described as a priest, an army scribe priest from the Old Kingdom of Egypt. So this is in the Pyramid Age. That's odd, isn't it? Very creepy. I mean, it's like looking in the mirror. Actually, if you look at him from the side, he doesn't look quite as much like me. His forehead slopes back a bit more. But from this angle, I mean, look, it's really, really weird. So that's it. Maybe he's the time-traveling porter, or it was the porter in a past life with pride and dignity. Yeah, maybe that's it. The Hall of Records. Yeah, Jay makes this point, doesn't he? Jay says, Jay's is also very enthused. He's not quite on the level of Johanna, but he's still very infused. I've been thinking about it. I had to take time out just to get my head together. This could be the legendary Hall of Records. Whoa! Again, you can't help it. I mean, this is, it's not wrong to do this. Flint Dibble is unfair to criticize us for this. None of us are saying this is definitely true. But it seems you get attacked by the skeptics unless you say, that's definitely true. If you remember my skeptic presentation, I made this point, didn't I? Who's the best skeptic, right? You hand them a picture of, you say, I took a photograph of Loch Ness Monster, right? Here it is. Now, who is the biggest skeptic? If someone says to you, oh, that's interesting, let me have a look at it. Let me study this and see if it's real. See if there's evidence that this is a real photo, right? But then that skeptic is not as good a skeptic as the one who says, I don't want to see it. Take it away from me. I'm not even going to look at it. I just know that it's not real. I know it's fake. I can feel it in my bones that it's fake. That person is a bigger skeptic. The second one is a bigger skeptic than the first. How does that make sense? Just watch my skeptic talk into detail. Rhiannon, I think it's important we don't fall into magical thinking about these things and become self-indulgent. We won't find the truth down that path. I don't think there's anything wrong with speculating, Rhiannon, even very extreme speculation. So long as we don't confuse that speculation for conclusion. Tina, I've been inside the Sphinx, have you? Can you get inside it? I didn't know you could. I'm a bright old backslapper. Oh, you're not as big as Isthantiops. DJ B2. Hang on, nothing it seems. I take it you don't think dowsing works. All right, dowsing. Yeah, I mean, what do dowsers say about the pyramids? And I know you're going to say dowsing is a pseudoscience. Chris French has proved it doesn't work. Well, Chris French admits that he can't prove anything doesn't work because you can't prove a negative. You can't prove negative, but you can prove. For example, that you can prove. He hasn't proved so far that it does work in controlled tests. DJ B2. The reason Andrew Johnson's blue feast is shitty is he had his back slapped a few too many times. Yes. Oh, Andrew's. Yes, Andrew was. I wrote an article having a go at Andrew the other day because it was. I won't show it to you, but I had a go at him again because I was joking because he seems to become less of a backslapper lately. But I can't help having a. Okay. It depends on what you mean by it works. I've seen it works, but the question is, what's actually going on and how does it work? Yeah. Well, there are mysteries. I mean, the thing is, for the add-on, if something does work, we don't have to know everything about it. This was the big mistake made with the cold fusion scandal. They said, well, we can't detect the neutrons, so it obviously doesn't work. Well, it does work. It's just something else. Even if we don't know how it works, we can still use it. Do you know there are still mysteries associated with electricity? We do not know 100% how electricity works. But it doesn't stop us using it. I'm using it right now to run this computer. We all use it every day to do everything. David says, we're in Tina. To Tina, we're in a much needless trouble as a nation and a civilization. Yeah. So I thank you. Andrew Johnson, lol, the guy who had a public meltdown shit fit if he gets a bad Amazon book review. Oh yeah, see, he has a shit fit about everything, especially people who fail one of his ideological purity tests. And I'm not going to have a go. I mean, I'm not going to repeat the problem I have with Andrew Johnson, but I just to stay within the law, I will just state that if he approaches me deliberately within 3 feet, I will show him exactly what a blessing is in a way that he will never forget. Grey Owl says, "Hey Ben, I got banned apparently for life on X. Did you? Hey, I'm going to show it to you. I know I'm going to get you a T-shirt, Grey Owl. I'm going to get you a T-shirt. This is the T-shirt I'm going to get. I'm going to get you this T-shirt. Where is it? Hang on. I've got the perfect T-shirt for you. If my bloody computer will work. I've got the perfect T-shirt to give to Grey Owl. Let me just... While my computer's working out what it wants to do, I shall refill my tankard of dragon juice. All right. There we go. Stick around, Grey Owl, because I've got a present for you. Right, here we go. Here we go, right. Right, here we go. If I can find it, it's somewhere in here. Here we go. Right, open file location. This computer is really. People often say, "Why don't you use your new PC more, Ben?" Because everything's so convenient to use this old one. I think I'll only start using my new PC properly when this one has died. Because it's so convenient to use this because everything is on here. Right, you are. Right, Grey Owl. Here we go. Here's your present. So based, I was banned by Elon. There you go. Enjoy. Still got a bit of that cough after 2 weeks, man. How are we getting on with? Let me just go through. Oh bloody hell! I can't go through all these comments, man. Oh dear. Sorry, I can't go through all these comments. Observer is Diego Rivera. Are you? You're Diego Rivera? Oh no, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to skim these comments, guys. Sorry. Shit. All right. So the countries that have other countries have pyramids too. Yes, England. What are the English pyramids then? I know Wales has got one, but I know that Wales has one buried underground. Yeah. Okay, where are we now? I've got 51. I've still got 51 views. Yay! Mark is less nihilistic, hence his name. Yeah, pyramids in England. Let's have a look. The Bosnian pyramids are not BS, Antiops. It's not. Silbury Hill is not a pyramid per se. It's a cone, but it is an ancient structure. Yeah. The Bosnia pyramids. Have you seen Samir Osmanagic? They're the real thing. Right. Oh dear. Oh great. Yes. You were so based. I was banned by Elon. Yes. Oh right. Observer. The Great Pyramid represents the human body with the pineal gland as the capstone. All right. Tina said that there's the human body encoded into the architecture of Malta, if I remember. I've been in jail, says Michelle. I'm innocent and was targeted. All good now, though. Well, I'm glad you are back, Michelle. Oh, dear. 2 bloody weeks. Oh, when's it going to go away? Della, hey, how you doing? Welcome, Della. One of those women, a woman who loves hospital porters, hence my article on HPWA. Hi, Ben. I've been here for an hour and a half just saying hi. Do the pyramids not have foundations then, like other structures? Della, they do indeed. I mean, as Flint rightly points out, he's not completely wrong. He says quite clearly that the pyramids are built on. They have a solid bedrock foundation. Yes, they're built. They probably the architects chose that location because it had a very, very stable. It has a very stable geology because with a building that large and that heavy, you'd need that to prevent subsidence. Although, as Tina and others have explained, it's not solid. There are cavities in the bedrock. We know about them because they exist, and we know that some are open to the public even. Others are not. Others, like Andrew Collins, has had to sneak in. Right, okay, where are we now? Maria's bloody awesome. She's great, isn't she? I've just been reading her new books. Oh, she's going to that thing next month. Then she's got a premiere of her movie. I'm going to that. I'm not. She's not, as several people have called her. I won't name names. A woman in a man's world. You know what I think about feminism. Rhiannon says, no, Ben, that's not what I meant. Anyone can speculate, but we should have gurus. We should use our judgment and not surrender 3/4 to guru-type leaders. That's what I meant. All right, I see. Well, sorry for the misunderstanding, Rhiannon. And, well, I can't disagree with that, can I? Yeah. Someone called Mab is here. Who's Mab? Oh, Mab. Hello, Mab. Welcome. Get your cards out, guys. Get your cards out. We have a line. We have at least a line here. Zythantiops. I'd love to believe this is real. I just think it's bollocks. Zythantiops. That is another classic backslapper line. Get your cards out. We're playing backslapper bingo with Zythantiops. All right, Zythantiops. Ben, serious question. Whatever happened to Sasha Christie? Is she still around? Well, I blocked the bitch about 8 years ago, so I've got no idea. After what she said and did and said about me, we fell out. We had so I blocked her. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if she's still slagging me off behind this event horizon, this Schwarzschild radius, which is no longer visible to me because of my blocking. Grail, my banishment turned out to be a blessing. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. I believe she's still around spewing her hate. It wouldn't surprise me, It wouldn't surprise me. It's sad. It's sad that there are people like that, but some of them are. David, do you play World of Warships, Ben? No, I don't. I play something called Dangerous Waters, which is a similar game. It's a much simpler game it's an old one from 2002, I think. It's a really old game, but it's really great. It's really great fun. Hello, Neil. Neil Peel, the Paranormal Peep Show. Hey, I'll talk to you on Monday, mate. We're all back with new names, says Michelle. It does seem that way, yes, Michelle. Is Doffler there? What's he called now? Doffler, are you there? What about Roaring Water Bay? Are you there? Neil said, my cough took 3 months to go. Oh, dearie me. I hope mine doesn't. Oh, did you see that Michael Salah's got it as well? Michael Salah has got the cough. I mean, where does he live? Bloody South America? It can't spread over the world that fast. Maybe, Dr. Wickramasinghe Singh is right and it just rains down from the sky. DJ, I just have a permanent runny nose. Oh dear, sorry to hear that. Now it says Swissy is pulling the levers of. Oh, who's that? Switzerland? All right. Oh, Mab was the wife of Arthur, or the wife of Merlin. Less nihilistic Mark. Hugh Newman and Andrew Collins also say the Bosnian pyramids are not a thing. I was convinced by Sam's talk, but trust Hugh and Andrew's arguments. I think it is a thing. I followed it in Nexus magazine. I followed Samir Osmanagovich talking about it. Jonathan Carlos, got a dash. Nice to be able to catch one of your streams. Night, Benjamin. Bungle and all. Yeah, Bungle. Absolute rubbish. Yes, it's Steve Mumbling here. Night, Jonathan. Thanks for tuning in. Zythantiops. Where are we now? D.H. Gray now. Sorry, I can't read out all these comments. Oh, we're seeing Maria. We aren't seeing Maria next month, Ben. We're seeing David Gareth and Jamie Ike and that Willett bloke in Birmingham. Mab is our real friend. Oh, real life friend, Ben. Oh, I see. Great. Tina says, I've been to the Bosnian pyramids. New discoveries there this week. This week, really? Oh, wicked. Wicked. I think they're real, Tina. When Nexus magazine did a huge study on them, and I think they're right. Philip Coppens convinced me, who sadly died quite young, I remember. Zythantiops says, where is it? I forgot about Steve Mumbling. Zythantiops, how could you forget about Steve Mumbling? DJ, if Mumbles has steaming piles, maybe he needs a cold shower. He's a bit of preparation H. Michel says, 2 years ago, I told you, I was surprised I never met an alien. I met one shortly thereafter, I believe, Ben. I believe now. All right, yeah, Michel. I've never met an alien. At least I may have met some people I think are aliens. But no. Yeah. Sweeps. Sending comments, guys and gals, but they are being blocked somehow. Oh, no. It's happened very frequently on Ben's live streams. Damn, huh? Want to say, what a great group here, though. Dowsing works. RHI. Thanks, Sweeps. I'm sorry. I don't know why that is. I don't know why this happens. A lot of people complain. Tina never got a notification. Other people have put comments and they never got blocked. People put comments underneath the video, including live comments and comments under the recordings, and they get blocked or they don't appear. And I don't know why that is. And that happens to me sometimes on other people's channels. It does. It's really annoying. Rhiannon. Ben, do you remember at the Basis conference a few years back, people were talking about some weird structures in Turkey, in the Turkey countryside? I think that looked weird. What happened to them? Oh, that was what's his name? Was it? Now that wasn't Göbekli Tepe, was it? Because we have a Göbekli Tepe visitor here. Nearly not so nihilist Mark is here. Less nihilist Mark. But was that what you're talking about, Rhiannon? Tina says, I married an Egyptian. Oh, cool. Well, I hope that. Well, I won't say anything. I know about it, Tina. We've talked about it privately. So, Michelle Wilkinson, I divorced an arse. Well, I'm glad you did. You don't want to stay married to one. Wasn't it the guy who died who was talking about Turkey? That could be several people. Rhiannon Raven. No, it wasn't that, Ben. They look like massive spiders or something. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, those lines on the ground. Oh, God, what was it? Those strange lines. Oh, yes, that was... oh, my God. I can't think of his name, but I know who you mean. Yes. These lines that they were appearing all over the world, and people found them on Google Earth. Let's just see if I can find them. Because Miles interviewed him. Who was it? It wasn't that Danish guy, was it? On, how can I say, giant spiders on Earth, Turkey. Just go to images. No, oh, here we go. Oh, here we are. Look. Yes, these YouTube giant spiders found in Turkey on Google Earth. Yeah, these things here. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. There's many more images like this. No, not these ones. This is an arachnophobe's nightmare. There we go. Yeah. Oh, Australia, but they technically weren't spiders because they don't have 8 legs, but they were spider-like. Yeah. Michelle, I'd love to see Ben's Google search history. I don't want you to see that. Oh, no, please don't. Mark says, Ben, Liz has sent you a funny short from our stream. Oh, there's a short, great, because I will add links to both of you, the video you did. Oh, cool. Now, let me just think of a moment. Mark, do you remember the example I gave of a cover-up in archaeology? I was talking about it on your stream just a couple of hours ago. I said that Flint Dibble is wrong. There is cover-ups, and I gave an example. Can you remember what it was? Yeah, I don't think we do. No, you don't want to see my Google history. You've seen enough of the bloody YouTube videos I've been watching. Because whenever I go to my homepage, you see all the YouTube videos I've been watching, and some of them are ones I'd rather people didn't know about. They're not inappropriate. They are on YouTube, but they are somewhat risque. And I always say I should switch to anonymous mode whenever I watch those. So, Mark, if you could think of it, let me know, because I can't remember. I'm just going to go through my notes. Let me just go through my notes here. I'm just going to check I've covered everything. Junk notes. Here we go. Sweet pictures. It took the debunkers a while to get their asses into gear. It certainly did. The debunkers said nothing about this for about 48 hours when this stuff dropped about the pyramids, and I thought that's not like them. Normally they're committing the clown's day off fallacy straight away, and they're coming out with anything that comes off the top of their head, and they don't. So Flint Dibble, ground truth and confirmation to discover, fair enough. Muography confirmed as accurate. Existing caves, Andrew Collins, the Cave of the Birds. Oh, fossils in the pyramid stones. Oh, right, yeah. Somebody said that the pyramids were older than we thought because there were fossils in the stones. But to be honest, I mean, the fossils only have to be in the stones when it's formed. They don't have to be in the stones when the thing's built. Those of you who watch Charlie Veitch will know that there was a very famous. I can't find it now, but there's a building in Manchester that's brand new. It was only put up a couple of years ago, and it has like a little ammonite fossil in it. It's made of marble, and in this marble you can see an ammonite fossil, one of those little curly shellfish, and it's millions of years old. But it's in this brand new building in Manchester. Obviously, this Manchester building is just a few years old, so that doesn't count. Water table problem, no cover-up, just asking questions, not published. Yes, the Italian paper's not been published yet. I won't show the video of the guy talking about it because it's subtitled, and those subtitles might not be accurate, and I can't speak Italian. Land of Cam, accuracy of Holland, Simon Holland. Okay, that's all the notes done. Does anyone else want to add anything? Because we'll call it. We've still got 46 viewers, but we're nearly on 2 hours, so I want to have a drink. Where are we now? Check out Garia, Sean Ross. Don't know them. Crypto mining is an asset to me. You're not a crypto miner. Yeah, I wonder if George Orwell is in the spirit world, and he may be writing like a Road to Wigan Pier book all about crypto mining rather than coal mining. You know, why do I come up with these things? I come up with these witticisms without knowing it. Green tea. I think the pyramids are definitely older than most theories. Yeah. I don't think they may not be they're not millions of years old, but they may well date back to the antediluvian civilization. Although Andrew Collins, actually, he's got a very conventional view on the pyramids. He said, no, they're 5th dynasty. The carbon dating of the mortar proves it. Well, the thing is, carbon dating's not, as you may know from the latest Turin Shroud evidence, which indeed Funny Oldie World actually has a video on. It's not always 100% accurate because the age has been reassessed of the Turin Shroud. It really does date from the time of Christ. It's not a medieval forgery. Yes, that judge from Oxford with the slave was convicted. Good, Tina. Good. Thanks for letting me know about that. Yes, we've had someone we've had someone in Oxford convicted of this is a Ugandan woman who was keeping slaves. Yes. Surely only white people keep slaves, don't they? No. She was keeping a slave in her house. This was someone from her own country that she'd illegally smuggled into the country and was working for no money in her home. And she has been convicted, thank goodness. She should be expelled. I mean, she said she had a diplomatic passport. Right, well, just expel her then. Why pay money putting her in a British prison? Send her back to her own country. She can do time there. And do you know what's really bad is the man at the Ugandan High Commission who sponsored her PhD thesis and also her diplomatic status, he's still there. He should be expelled too. Sweeps. Heading out. Thanks for all here. Thankful. You're welcome, Sweeps, and thanks for the thumbs up. And thanks very much for watching, mate. Really appreciate it. The global flood covered the highest mountain peak. According to the Bible, but that couldn't be true. Face it, says 69 Phuket. Musk and Trump have fooked it all up. No, they haven't. Diplomatic passport, go to hell. Yes. She's a horrible person. You're off, Tina. Night, Tina. Stay online, Ben. Share the knowledge, says Jack. Oh, this has been a very high energy live stream. I really like it, actually. I really have enjoyed this live stream. But, you know, I'm getting tired now, so I think I'll call it a night. But you've been great, guys. I want to say thank you to Now, Jack Enoff, Tina Silver, 69 Phuket, Sweets Foxman, Michelle Wilkinson, Green Tea, Rhiannon Raven, Less Nihilistic Mark, The Crafty Nihilist, Observer, Zythantiops, and Red Snapper, and anyone else I missed out. Thank you very much, all of you. Night. Night, Michelle Wilkinson. Night, Malingerers. Oh, thanks very much. Night, DJ. Night, Tina. Night, Michelle. Cheers now. Thanks for posting now. Cheers, Pat Wright. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for posting. See you, Green Tea. See you, everybody. David. What happened after all the flood water? Oh, blimey. No, nice. Thank you. Please, nobody ask me about disclosure. Thank you, all of you, for watching Hapanmo TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.